Hey everyone, today we're going to go through a very old topic. It's about the usage of index match. And a very typical example is that you have this pivot format of your rate card, which means that you need to look at, like, say, horizontally and also vertically to find a particular charge for a particular city for a particular weight. In the case we have this one kg, what we need to do is we need to convert this into town, for example, first, because all the unit here is in town. So we need to use the 1000 as the denominator to get the town. In the case of the first row, we have it over here saying city B, the town, the weight is 1.2 town. So city B is this row. We're looking at 1.2, which is within this band, which is 1.0 to 3.0. So there's supposed to be a charge, say 523, right? So that's our value for the first row. And you can go through this process row by row to find out. But today we're talking about formulas. So let's get started. So first you need to think about what formula you use. We already mentioned that we're going to use index match. So the index is pretty easy. Just say index. You have the first, which is your array as an argument. Second is the row count, row number. And third is the column number. Think about it this way. You give an array, which is this matrix. And then you say find a value, which is row 1 and the column 1, which is this 541. So that's where you can find a precision position of your value within this index. So you need to supply 3 elements: array, row number, and column number. So we're gonna have that over here. So array, we already know, is pretty much this area, but we need to figure out a row number. So for figure out full row number, we first need to find a weight charge in the row name. So we know that this is B exactly. We just need to find a B. So it's going to be equal to this row. And then we need to find the row charge, which is the index. For example, the B is going to give me return 2, right? And C is 3. So C is the ranking in this array as a 3. So what we need to do is just use a match. Use a match, we found this B value. Within this array, we're going to look at this array, right? So let's do that again. This array, remember you need to block it, F4. And then the match, we're going to use exact match because we explicitly tell you is city B we need to find, right? Once you have that, you can fulfill this one, just fill it down, right? So now we have the charge index row down. And next we need to find the weight charge in column name. How do we find column name? We can't use this as a column name. We need to develop a band which is just a single value, and you have the lowest, highest, like that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert a row over the top. Let's just mimic that. The band is actually can be simplified as 0.0, 0.3, 0.5, 1.0, and 3.0, and 5.0. Which means I'm highlighting the lower band for each of the band and just extract them as a continuous band. In that way, I can use this as a column name. So we need to find a value is fall within which column. That way, the row name is pretty easy. For this one, we're going to use a technique about H lookup because the row is horizontally. So we need to find about this town value. The array we're going to talk about is this array. Remember, you need to lock that as well. The row index, because there's just one row, so I just fix 1, and the magic happen. We don't use exact match, we use approximate. So which is 1, close it, enter. Let's find out if it's correct. So for the second value, which is 0.289. 0.289 is within 0.289 within this band, and this is the city C, which is here. Which means we're looking for the row 3, right? We have row 3, yes, 1, 2, 3, row 3. And for the column, we're looking for this column, right? 0.0. But remember, we're using the column number rather than column name in the last argument of the index. Well, what we need to do is we need to convert this column name into column index. How we do that easy, we just use the magic of match again. We match this value within this range. Remember, need to lock it, and we're going to use exact match. Once we find this, will return the index of the match, right? So for the first value, 1.2, which is here, we're actually looking for the row 2, right? And we're looking for the column which index. Remember, we just look at this 2 index, which is column 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's what we're looking for. And for second, 0.289. 0.289 is actually the column, which is this point 1 column, which is the index 1, and for the row is row 3, which is here. That's why we got that value, right? Okay. Once we have these 2 ready, the next step is index to find the charge. Then that's pretty much easy. We just use the column highlight in yellow. So for this one, we can say equals to index, because the array already know is this box. We need to F4 lock it, and then we're using the row, which is this one, and column is this one. Close it, get all the value. So that's how you get value for a pivot format of rate card for your actual weight in ton. And here we're using the index, pretty easy. But like I said, there's plenty of room. You can improve this formula. For example, this one, I'm not sure what you're referring to, so I'm not familiar with what you're saying. What you can do is actually using the name range to improve the readability of your formulas. So what we're going to do is, we know that for all the formula that we're going to using is actually this box and this box and this box. The row and also the column is feeding the value for the row number and column number, which is condition. The array is actually the way we're going to look at. So what we're going to do is we can rename this going to the formula. We can rename this as lookup. We can say weight. So this is the lookup weight. This one we can rename that as going to the formula, define name. We can say as a condition, since this is for a row, we say this is city, right? And for this one, we can easily name that as a different one. Here we're going to say condition again. This is for the column. We're going to say is for the band, right? Okay. Once we've done, let's just rewrite this index in one go. We don't take the baby step. We just do it in one go. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's just copy this part first. So let's just remove the highlight. Okay. So we're going to say the weight charge, actual weight charge. So we're going to benefit using that. So index, we know for the array is going to be the weight, something that we just look up weight, right? And then for the row, we're going to say, what are we going to do? We just need to find a match. Lookup value, which is the counter row, which is the B, and in the city, right? If we just type city, the condition row city can come up. That's the lookup array. Match is exact match. Now we've finished the row number. For the column number, we know there are 2 parts. First, we need to find the band, right? Which is using the H lookup. H lookup value going to be this town value. And then the array going to be we say it's called band, right? We found that in the band, row number index is 1, and we're using exact approximate, which is 1. Once we find the column name, this one is actually finding the column name. We're going to use a match again, surround that. We're going to look at this value, find in that the band again. This time we're going to use exact match. Once we have that, we'll close it, close the whole formula. We hit enter. So 523, and now we return every value. Now if we read this formula, it's pretty easy. We're saying we are looking up a range, which is a lookup value weight, and then we're using the condition row city to find a row number, and also using the condition column band to find a column number. And then we supply these 3 parameters into this index formula. We found the corresponding value for the weight charge for a particular city when the weight